Alrighty then, Mr. Sanders here, and I just got finished watching WWE Elimination Chamber 2012, and I'm going to give a sort of immediate review sort of thing. Now, I accidentally missed the pre-show, I went to get in and out, and so I'm not going to cover it. Okay, the first match on the card was Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show in a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. I do kind of like the idea of Del Rio facing like Big Show just in a regular match, but at the same time, this really shouldn't be after the two last man standing matches. It had a little too much to live up to. Like a lot of the offense looked a little too fake, and I'm sure you're gonna find this out later on Botchamania. But to add some critical points, there were a few botches. And kind of the biggest problem with it is that just nothing stood out. There was nothing really that. Like, really nothing in this match, to be quite honest. So, it wasn't bad or anything, it was just like, it was kind of nothing. It was like, just above watchable, if you will. I put like 5 or 6 out of 10. That's how I'd kind of put it. I think after this match, they did some video packages, and then they went into some random celebrities who are starring in the movie that Rock is in recently. I guess you got to get that promotion in somehow. Next match was Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz for the United States Championship. The sort of angle going into this was that Miz got injured after that awesome thing that Antonio Cesaro did, where he swung him back and forth up against the guardrail. So kind of the story of this match was that one guy was injured, and then eventually Miz attempted to injure Cesaro a bit, and then that sort of ended up being the psychology of the match. Antonio Cesaro and Miz both pulled out some really different offense, and it was all pretty cool to watch. And Cesaro is really, really good at selling Miz's offense, although Miz is not that good at selling Cesaro's. But here's the thing, Cesaro's moves are so different that a lot of times he doesn't even need to sell it well. The ending was actually a really cool example of how to let a face like beat a guy without beating him. What happened was like Miz was starting to hit on Antonio's leg. Antonio kicks out one of Miz's legs from underneath him. He falls forward, and in the process of doing that, Miz's knee lands in Cesaro's balls. The ref sees it and goes, DQ. So yeah. It was a really well-worked match. I liked the pace of it, and I liked the ending of it all. You know, I give it an 8. You know, I think had they had more time, or who knows, maybe they'll have an even better match at WrestleMania. That's what I'm hoping. So yeah, I'm assuming this is going to lead into them facing at WrestleMania. Yeah, and ADR, he won the match earlier, as I think I already said. And in the pre-show, I should point out, Tensai and Brodus Clay won with, like, some double squash move. The next match, which I was surprised it was in the mid-card, was the Elimination Chamber match to determine the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 29. Jack Swagger versus Kane versus Chris Jericho versus Daniel Bryan versus Mark Henry versus Randy Orton. What I liked about this match was that every little section of it really did stand out from the other sections. And this kind of speaks to how differently people can wrestle against each other. And that's what kind of made this match very fun to watch. It started off with Daniel Bryan versus Chris Jericho, setting kind of a slow pace that everything else could contrast against. And, it allowed things to be seen that you knew weren't going to be seen later on. Swagger looked really, really good in this match. He looked super, super aggressive, taking on all comers, and actually got a great deal of offense in everyone. And what I loved about this was that everything, as I said, everything was just super heavy contrasting. You know, when Mark Henry came out, everything kind of slowed down but became, oh shit, damn, he must be hurt. Kane and Daniel Bryan, once Kane got in and he was working with Daniel Bryan, that offense was also pretty damn different. You know, they kind of ended up using the chamber more and more at one point, less and less at certain points. But I thought that the first half of this had a really good start. It was a lot of fun. And the last third was pretty tense. I didn't like how it felt a little too slow, like for about 4 or 5 minutes, but I think it might have been necessary. But I think what a lot of people are going to be talking about in this match was the surprise ending. What happened was Chris Jericho got RKO'd, got pinned by Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton got pinned by Jack Swagger, and Swagger won. So yes, the man who is going to face Alberto Del Rio, or maybe Dolph Ziggler, is going to be Jack Swagger. That was a surprising ending. But you know what? With the new racist manager he has, I think Jack Swagger, who knows, maybe this could be a good Jack Swagger push. This is maybe a little too immediate to put him into the title picture, but hey, you know, that manager is giving him, you know, quite a bit of heat, and he's getting a lot of momentum. I gave the match a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a lot of fun, and yeah, as I said, the ending was really surprising. Next match was The Shield of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose versus Ryback, John Cena, and Sheamus in a 6-man tag match. The match started off like all Shield matches do immediately. They just as soon as they just jumped over the barricade from their usual exit or entrance, the other team was already at their heels, just right there waiting for them. It was pretty dang. It was actually pretty damn well paced, and what I liked was that because you didn't know that much about Shield's offense, every little thing about their attack stood out. What I actually love about Shield is that all 3 of their competitors are fun to watch because, like, first of all, they contrast each other very heavily. You know, as I already said, that's always a plus. The attacks of Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns, like, going back and forth with each other, actually really do set a heavy contrast with what's going on with just each other. And I just gotta say, Dean Ambrose is so much fun to watch. And strangely enough, it didn't have the ending I expected it to be. Like, I expected the ending to just be Super Cena comes out and saves the day, but no. Fucking Super Cena tries to save one guy, he gets taken down temporarily, and then while Ryback is trying to hit the shell shock on, I think, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns hits the spear on Ryback, and Seth Rollins just falls down and pins him. That was a surprise. That's right, 2 surprise endings in a row. This match I just thought was a ton of fun. It may not have had the time that the previous match had, but it's already probably my match of the year candidate. I gave it 9 or 10 out of 10. That's right. 2 times in a row, Shield has had match of the year candidates for me. Damn, these guys are fucking stars. I thought before that the previous match made them stars. This match made them stars. It's one thing to beat Ryback, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. It's another thing to beat John Cena with any other random pairing. So yeah, Shield, they're fucking stars now. I gotta wonder where this is gonna go. I think it could end up being that at WrestleMania we're gonna see like buffed up Shield versus Ryback and a couple of other people. Who knows? This led in. The next thing was a Dolph Ziggler promo where he talked about, oh, I'm not booked on this, but I steal the show. I'm probably gonna be at WrestleMania. Then Booker T comes out. Hold on, sucker. You actually do have a match, and that led into Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. This match was short. It was a good move exhibition, but we've seen this match too much. I think they have literally admitted that this match has happened over 500 times, probably 600 at this point. Yeah, it was all too familiar, and it looks like any momentum Kofi Kingston had going into the main event is gone. Big E Langston after the match just beat the crap out of Kofi Kingston, and you could hear the crowds chanting one more time after Big E hit him with his weird finishing move. Ziggler won, as if you even needed to ask. After that, they did like some weird promo segment between Brodus, Clay, and Lord Tensai. It was humorous, but it felt like just filler that tried to get in the product placement. The next match was Tamina Snuka versus Kaitlyn. There was nothing particularly offensive about this match, but it just felt completely pointless. I gave it 5 out of 10. It was like, it's not, you know, nothing important there. And the other match I gave, Ziggler versus Kofi, I gave it 6 out of 10. So anyway, this next match was the next match was Rock versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. The match had a very, very slow start, but it had a pretty nice build-up. My sort of problem with this match was that Punk and Heyman weren't as entertaining as they usually are, and that's not really a knock against like Punk as a wrestler. What I mean by that is more he just didn't do the humorous things that he did last time. But now here he was more here he was just more focused rather than the other match where he was kind of trolling. But I did like that things as things progressed, things became more tense. The count out and disqualification rule came into play at many times, but of course, never ultimately mattered. So they actually did make CM Punk look fairly strong against Rock. By by having him kick out of both the rock bottom and the people's elbow. This match was just all about the build-up and then just the top-off. But the problem was the match felt like it should have gone on a little longer. Like, I think it was like the second referee got injured. Punk attempts to cheat. Things backfire. Rock just hits him with a finisher. Referee crawls into the match to get the pin, and then he gets it. I'm like, come on, you could have had the match extended. The referee crawled into position. Couldn't you have just argued, well, Punk had time to recover, so he could have kicked out? And that was sort of a problem with the match. I think this could still further the angle between CM Punk and Rock, because Punk actually pinned Rock, but there was just no referee. Like, you heard the fans chanting, 1, 2, 3, and Rock was out. It's just the referee was also out, so nothing happened. Yeah, but this match sort of disappointed me. I expected it to be a little bit better. I still think it's a little bit better than the previous match at Royal Rumble, but I don't think it was just as purely entertaining. The best thing you could say about those two matches was that they were very different. I gave the match here about a 7 or 8 out of 10. So it looks like we're going to see twice in a lifetime Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 29. So that was Elimination Chamber 2013. What did I think of it? Two amazing matches, and one really good match. But of course, those matches were pretty dang long. I think the Shield match was like a solid 25 minutes. The Elimination Chamber was at least 45, so that's at least and with the Antonio Cesaro match, that's probably at least half the card. So is it worth saying that an entire pay-per-view is worth it for half its content? Maybe. The rest of the stuff isn't completely offensive. It's just that this is all stuff that's like on the bottom of the card. This is like the mid card is where it's at, and the ending is just kind of like meh. I'm still looking forward to the future of the WWE though. After the Shield were basically turned into superstars in this match, but still, I think they need to be more well presented. What would I give this overall? Again, the big problem isn't the matches; it's the flow. Like, the way they structured this, I think I could have ended on a brighter note if, like, the Elimination Chamber or the Shield match was later on. But yeah, it's like heavily it's not quite as well paced out as it really should be. Yeah, I think I'll give this a 7 or 8 out of 10. Like, 2 Match of the Year candidates and that rating. But still, I would check this out if you can find it. Anyway, this has been Mr. Sanders, and hope to see you for the next TNA pay-per-view or WrestleMania, whichever one comes next. So, see you guys then.